Hello everyone, welcome to the 24th and final episode on the one bedroom house series that we have been doing on the channel. In today's video, I'll be showing you how to get your sheets all set up in AutoCAD and how to print them in PDF format. So you might hear terminologies like sheet template, field text, sheet set, subsets, or sheet properties, stuff like that. But don't worry, I'm sure by the end of this episode, you'll understand what all of that means. Now, this video is going to be a long one, so buckle up. What I'll do is to break this video into parts so that you can skip to the part that you want to watch. So if that's something you want to do, check the description below for the timestamps. You're all set. I got you. I'll also be dropping the playlist for all the other episodes just in case you missed one or two or you haven't seen it at all. Check the description. Yes, so I did enjoy making these videos and I hope that you enjoyed watching them as well. And if you did, comment below which ones were your favorite. And if it's your first time on the channel or if you haven't subscribed as yet, a sub would be solid as a rock. Alright, so let me stop talking and jump right into AutoCAD and show you how to do this thing. Alright everybody, so here we are back in AutoCAD Architecture and let's jump right into it. So as you already know, we're going to be creating all of our sheets today. But before I get into that, I want to show you 3 additional views that I have created ahead of time for this video today. So I did do a location map, as you can see right here. I also did some additional site information, just type up a little thing here, and I also did some concrete notes here, typical stuff, just to make it into something we can place on the sheet. All right, now the location map, actually I went on Google and just find a spot and just take a snippet of it, and as you can see, I drew a box around the area and also kind of put a little text there to kind of identify the property. Also, when you're doing a location map, you want to make sure you have other notable buildings or properties around so that persons who would like to locate the property can use those buildings as a landmark or as references. So bear that in mind when you're going on Google to snip a photo or a snippet of that area. Now, this location map is not to scale, so I'm going to actually change this from 1/8 to NTS because it's not done to scale, so I don't want to have a scale there. Now, if you notice, this text up here is a little bit different from the others, and that's because this is what we call a field text, meaning this information is being pulled from somewhere else. All right, and I'm going to show you exactly where it is being pulled from. If we go back to our project navigator, where we see the project, let me come out of that project tab here, and we go to the little pencil. You remembered when we started this project, we did type some information in this box here to describe the project, or what we say, project description. And so this is exactly what is being seen out here. And so by using field text, we can pull various information from out of the project navigator and other areas as well into our details, our notes, and also our title block, which is going to be very important as we get further into this video. All right, so how do you add fields? When you create a text box like this one here, all you have to do, in fact, let me create a brand new one. So let's just do a random one out here. Once you are inside of the text box, you are able to add a field in. And so once you click on that, you just need to locate the one that you want. So that particular one would fall under AEC projects, and it would be the project description. And then, of course, you can choose whether or not you want it to be uppercase, lowercase, whatever. I'm not going to select any. I'm going to just hit OK. And there it is. It included it in that text box. All right. Now that is important because when we go back into the settings here and we go down a little bit further where it says detailed information, when I click on this, you will notice that I have a lot of other information in here, and we're going to need to be able to pull these out into our title block. So this is something you can set up at the beginning of your project as well as at the end or wherever in the middle. But wherever you choose to do it, you need to have it in so that you can pull these out in your title block. So as you can see, I have the address for the project, the volume and folio number. This is a number that is unique to every property on the island. So if we need to locate a property in the database, they would just type that number in. Likewise with the coordinates, every property has a coordinate. Client information, you can go ahead and add in stuff like that. And it's very simple. All you have to do is to click on the plus button here to add a line, and you just type what you need. And if you need to delete that line, which I'm actually going to do here, you just click on the X. And as you can see, I actually added an extra folder here for architectural firm, and that can be done using the folder icon here. And so as you can see, I added some additional information within this folder, so I added the firm's name, address, telephone number, and email. And also for some fun, we added the YouTube and Instagram and Twitter, as well as some architect notes. Guys, go ahead and add all the information that you're going to need in this box here so that we can use them later when we need them. All right. So I'm going to X this off now, and we're going to stay in this properties setting here, and we're going to scroll down to where we see sheet template. Now, if you remembered when we had created this project back in episode, I think it was episode 2, we did select this template here as our sheet template. Okay. And we also selected this size as the size that we're going to be using for this project. Of course, if you're doing a larger project, you would want to select a larger page. Now, this sheet template does not have in the correct title block that we would need to use. It's not customized. This template is just the default one that comes with AutoCAD. And so what you're going to want to do is to personalize that template to your liking. All right. And so what you'll have to do, or what I would recommend, that the easiest way to do is to basically just copy this template and make it your own. All right. So what you want to do is to find this file, open this location. The easiest way to do that is to copy that and go to your run app, paste it in there and hit OK, and it should take you directly to that folder. And then you're going to look for this very same file. All right, DWT file, and it would be somewhere here. I think this is it. Just copy it, and then I would X that off, and then I would go to my project folder, Autodesk one bedroom house. And what I did was to create a new folder here. As you can see, this folder, I created this one. Within this folder, I kind of throw everything that I need that would be specific to this project, such as the logo of my company, the Google image that I use to make the location map. And as you can see, I already copied that template over, and I copied it one more time to make a personalized template. All right, so I'm going to open the original one so you can see what that looks like. So you just drag it into AutoCAD, but guess what? I need to X these off first. All right, so let's do that now. All right, so I'm going to drag the original one in and see what that looks like. So this is what it looks like. And as you can see down here, we have all the different page sizes. And we're actually on the largest one, but the one we're focusing on would be the 18 by 24. And this is what it looks like. It has in the sheet number, sheet title, checked by, drawn by, project number, and so on and so forth, client information, project information. And guess what? It doesn't have in everything though. And that is why I encourage you to copy this file and modify it. You can go into the block itself, the title block. You can right click, edit the block and change it up how you need it. In fact, what I'll do at this time is to open the one that I did for this drawing, which would be this one, and show you what that looks like. So at the end of modifying everything, this is what it looks like. All right, so I did keep these down here at least, sheet number, description, checked by, drawn by, such and such. But up here is where I added in all of those information that we looked at earlier in our project navigator. All right, so as you can see, I just have some normal text box and I just use the field command here to add in all of the stuff that we need. So of course we would find those underneath project details, and here they are, all of the same stuff that we saw earlier, and we would just click on the one that we need and drop it in and just create your title block. Of course, I brought my logo in. I deleted those ugly letters and kind of put some additional stuff like the sheet size and plot date. Of course, you could put the plot date in there to show the particular date in which the drawing has been printed. All right. And so when we start to create sheets, all of our sheets will come in looking like this. And these information will be automatically updated. If we need, let's say I had the wrong YouTube name here, I could change it one place and it would update on all the sheets. Likewise, all the sheets will come with their respective sheet number, their respective sheet title, sheet index, whatever, drawing name, project number, checked by, drawn by. It will come with all the information that we need. So go ahead, modify that template, make it your own. I only did the 18 by 24 template. I did not do these ones because I didn't need them at this time. So of course, if you are running a little company, or if you're even running a massive firm, you would probably want to have a template for all of these sheet sizes. All right. But for this project, I only did one. And so once you're done, you would go ahead and say save as, and you would go to here and make sure to change this to template file. All right. AutoCAD drawing template. All right. And then you're going to want to find your project folder, which would be in your document, Autodesk, my projects, 1 bedroom house, 1 bedroom. And then in the same folder that we created earlier, you would save it as that new template that you would have created. All right. Now that's that. All right. So now that we have created our sheet template and we have also done our views, everything is ready and set to go on our sheets. So let's go down to the Sheets tab, where we will now organize all of that. Now, if you're familiar with the Sheet Set Manager, you will not have a problem utilizing this tab right here. It's pretty much the same. I would say this is the Sheet Set Manager baked right into the Project Navigator, so we don't have to open up the Sheet Set Manager's tab. All right. If you're not familiar with a sheet set or what a sheet set is, let's read what it says here. A sheet set is an organized collection of sheets from several drawing files and can be published, transmitted, and archived as a package. So a sheet set allows sheet properties, sheet set properties, and callouts to be automatically coordinated across the sheets in the sheet set. So what we're looking at here at the top is the sheet set. In fact, when we started this project, AutoCAD automatically created this sheet set for us. And if you go to the projects folder, let me pull that up for you guys, you would see that in this folder we have a sheet set file, and this is where it houses all of your sheet set. Now within the sheet set, it contains subsets. All right, so think about a folder, and in that folder you have other folders that categorizes the sheets within that folder. So that's exactly how it works here. We have the head folder here, one big folder, and then we break it down into various categories. And then within these smaller folders, we would have our drawings. All right. Now I have created a list of drawings that I think we will need for this project. I have broken them down into 3 categories. And so I have the architectural here. I have the MEP, which is for mechanical, electrical, and plumbing. even though in this case I only have electrical and plumbing. So that's why I just have EP there. And also we have a couple of drawings that we want to put in a structural folder. All right, so this is how I am going to be laying out our sheet set over here. So let's go ahead. Now, unfortunately, we cannot just right click and delete. As you notice, the delete option is unavailable. So what we'll have to do is to create one sheet first, and it's just a quirk with the software. I'm not sure why AutoCAD would do something like that, but what we're going to do is to create one sheet first, and I'm going to create the first architectural sheet. So if you notice, I click on architectural. I'm going to actually keep this subset because I'm going to use it, but everything else I'm going to be deleting. So I'm going to create one sheet under that, and this is what the dialog box look like. So this is where we're going to be typing in the sheet number. So as you see on the left side of the screen, the first sheet would be A-01, and that would be South Perspective View. And I'm going to open it. All right, I'm going to hit OK. Let me minimize this. And so this is our sheet. As you can see, it brought in our sheet template, and it also autofills the our title, our sheet number, and yeah, everything else is being autofill. Of course, we have these two here that we will need to fill in after the fact. All right, as well as the sheet index and the number of sheets. This should be representing the total number of sheets. I have 9 here, but it really should be 10, so we're going to have to correct that. So now that we have our first sheet, let's go ahead and delete these. Now you can see that the delete option becomes available, so why not just get rid of them. So that's my first sheet in the architectural folder. I'm going to rename this one to be MEP, and then I'm going to create one more underneath the one bedroom house here. I'm going to create another subset, and I'm going to call this one structural. Okay. All right. So now we have our 3 subsets. I'm going to drag this to the top because I want architectural to be at the top. And actually we have our first architectural page. And so what we can do at this time is to go ahead and create all of our sheets. Just, do them at once, and then we can start to add our views to it. So before I create any other sheet, however, what I want to show you also is you can right click on the sheet, go to properties, and you can modify the sheet index. So in this case, this would be sheet number 1, drawn by myself, and then checked by whomever it is that you have checking your sheets. And then once we go to the sheet and refresh, type the command RE, it would update all of these fields, as well as put in the sheet number. So sheet 1 off, and it should be 10 here. So let's go ahead and change this to 10. Now, in order to change this to 10, we have to go to the sheet set itself, right click and go to properties, and scroll down to where you see total sheets. Now, if you're not seeing total sheets, we can always add another custom property in. So go ahead and add it in, make sure it looks somewhat like this, and you hit OK. It should populate down here, and I'm going to change that to 10, hit OK. I'm going to refresh, and that should change to 10. Now, there's a lot to be said about the sheet set custom properties and also sheet custom properties like we're seeing here. You could actually create your own lines that you want to appear, but that is for our next video. I'm not going to be going in too much details on that in this video. All right, so now that we have that set, what I'm going to do is to go ahead and create all the other pages, and I'm going to just fast forward the video to the end of that. All right, so let's get it. All right, we're moving over to the MEPs. Now we're moving over to structural. All right, guys, so now you can see that I have all 10 sheets created here perfectly. What I'm going to do now is to go through and enter the drawn by, checked by information, and also the sheet index. So if you remembered, we went to properties, and this would be sheet number 2, drawn by myself, checked by JL, and hit OK. So I'm going to be doing that for all the other sheets. I'm going to fast forward that part as well. Alright guys, so this is the last one, sheet number 10, and then I'm going to hit OK. And so all of our 10 sheets are ready. Now bear in mind, if you needed to add some more sheets, you can always go back and rename or renumber the sheets. So that's not a problem, just go back through the same process. You could change the number at the top as well and the name of the sheet. So, you have no problem where that is concerned. So on this first sheet, which we are currently in the perspective view sheet, I'm going to see if I can pull this over, pull it up. Yeah, get it to dock. All right, good. So this is the first sheet and we're on that sheet. And on this sheet, we are going to be pulling in a 3D view that I have created using a camera. And this is something I'm going to have to show you guys how to do in another video. But it's pretty simple. If you mess around, you probably figure it out. So what you do when you have a view is to simply drag that view to the page. And that is how simple it is, guys. When you have your views, it's a matter of just dragging and dropping. Now I noticed that my my site plan is gone. I'm gonna see if I can recover it. Properties, it should be showing in there. I'm not sure why it's not. Let's see if that helps. There we go. All right, so that's what our 3D view looks like. And I think I am going to, I'm not going to put anything else on this sheet. I was thinking of putting the table of content on this sheet, but let's see what this looks like. I'm going to change the quality to maximum. I'm going to apply it, preview, and this is what it looks like. It looks a little choppy at this time, but when you actually print it out, it's going to come out much better than that. So don't worry about that. All right, so our first sheet has been created. Our view has been added. Let's open up our site plan. And now all we need to do is to drag and drop our site plan view that we would have created earlier in this episode. So let's drag him and drop him. So I'm going to drop him right in the corner down here. And if you notice, the title is kind of cut off. So let me kind of drag this down a little bit. And if you notice, it even adds the number in there, which is nice. So I'm going to kind of shift this down because I do have some additional information to add to this sheet. I want to add the location map, which we have spoken about earlier. I'm going to drop it maybe like right here. And if you notice, it continues on that numbering. So that's perfect. And then I'm going to grab my our project notes and I'm going to drop it maybe like right here. And I'm also going to drag and drop the concrete notes somewhere like probably like here. All right. And finally, I need to have the table of content drop on here as well. And this is where it becomes easy, guys. You don't have to sit down and type up a table of content. All you got to do is right click on your sheet set and you're going to say insert sheet list table. And it brings up this sheet list table thing here where you could actually select if you had a table style created from, the beginning of the project, you could use your table style. I didn't create one, so I'm going to just work with the default style. And you could go through the settings and mess around. Also, over here is where you would go through and select the sheets that you actually want to appear in the list. Okay. And of course, I want all of my sheets. So I'm going to just hit OK. Once I do that, it's just a matter of placing it where I want. So I'm going to just drop it right there. And just like that, I have all of my sheets done. And the good thing about it is if I add another sheet in or change the name or change the number or anything of that nature, it would update here. All you got to do is to just click on the heading here at the top, right click, and you would go down and say sheet list table and update. All right. Now I want to add a text up here. So I'm going to just go ahead and insert or go home text about 1/2 inches big. All right. So here I'm going to have proposed dwelling for lot number 8334 Hatfield Avenue, Manchester. All right, so that's the information I want at the top of my sheet. Of course, it would vary based on what you would usually put on yours. So this is what I'm going to have at the top here. Big and bold and outstanding. All right, and so guess what, guys? My first page is finished. I'm going to kind of just pull this up a little bit. So let's take a little preview to see what that would actually look like. And this is what we have. Everything is perfect, including our sheet index, and everything looks nice. So let's move right along because there's quite a bit of pages to go. All right, so let's go ahead and open up our third drawing. And on this one, I'm going to be dropping the floor plan. So let's go up to floor plan, and I'm going to drop that one in here. Just like that. And I'm going to drop the schedules. So the first schedule I'm going to drop would be the door schedule. I want the door schedule on the top because it's very long. And then I'm going to put the window schedule and the room schedule. Now, the room schedule is one that I created after the fact. While I was preparing for this video, I thought it would be a good addition to the page. So I did record the behind the scenes and added it to my Patreon page. So if that's something you're interested in, then definitely check that out. There's quite a lot to be learned from of how to do schedules. I'm going to be doing a video in the future anyhow, so stick around for that. I'm just trying to neaten these up so it looks, okay on the page. All right, so that's all we're going to be having on this sheet. All right, let's take a quick preview of that. Make sure everything is looking okay. All right, nice. Now, if you notice, these are not filled in, but don't worry, they are going to be automatically filled in as we place these views on sheets. All right, so let's go ahead and hit the save button for that. Let's go to our fourth page, and this is where we're going to be adding our front elevation. So let's go down to front elevations, drag him in. Try to drop it in the center there. And also, I think it was the right elevation that we need on here. I'm going to drop him maybe like about there. All right. Now, if you notice again, it's numbering the views as we go along. All right. And I just don't need to do anything else. That's really all I need to do. Now, my top up here is getting a little bit crowded. So I'm going to close this one and keep going. Let's open up my fifth sheet, which would now have my back elevation and my left elevation. Gonna bring it down a little bit, looking beautiful. X that off. All right, so let's do the sixth page, and we're gonna go ahead and open up our section views. Section A right there, and section B right there. Now some of my text are being cut off, so let me kind of widen the view a little bit more. All right, perfect. Let's get the top up. All right, and that's it for my section and views. Let me take a quick view and see if everything looks good. Perfect. And so if I save this and I X this off and I refresh this page, it's not working. All right, let me X it off. Yes, save it and reopen it. That would be the floor plan. Now those sheet numbers would be updated with the current sheet. And even if you drag those views to a new sheet, it would also be updated. So that's how AutoCAD works. All right. So I'm going to X this off, save it, X this off. All right, let's keep the first one. All right, let's move down to our electrical plan, and we're going to drag and drop our electrical and drainage layout plan right here. Actually, I'm going to place this by itself on this page along with the electrical and plumbing notes. These are the only two things I'm going to be placing on this sheet. So let me see how that looks. Preview, looking wonderful. All right, and then go down to our next sheet, electrical and drainage legend and notes. So if you go back to the views here, you remember when we had created some details. We have, like, for instance, the grease trap basin. So I'm going to drag this on. Have a little piece cutting off there. Let me see if I can fix that. All right. I also have the manhole detail. So drag and drop. And I also have trap gully basin detail as well. That looks good. All right. So we do have a drainage legend. I'll bring that in, place it here because I think the electrical legend is very long. Right, so this one is very long. If I had a larger sheet, it would be perfectly fine. But being that it is so long, what I will have to do is to break it into 3 parts. So I'm going to copy it 3 times or 2 more times, and then I'm going to just break it into parts. All right, so I'm gonna kind of arrange them before I bring them on the sheet. And then I'm gonna bring them all over to the sheet and drop it maybe like right here. I could actually bring these down a notch. All right, and then we're gonna take a look at that page, see what that looks like. And looking pretty good to me. Now, if you notice, these are out of whack. That's because I was messing around with them earlier, but don't worry, we're gonna fix them. It's pretty easy to fix. So we're gonna take a look at that in a moment. All right, we're gonna hit save, and then let's get out of that page and let's go down to our next page, which would be foundation. And we're gonna go back to our views, foundation plan, drag our foundation in. I'm gonna place it over to the side here because I think we have quite a few details to be added to this sheet. So this will be our first view. Then we're gonna go down to details and drag in our foundation footing detail. I'm gonna drop him maybe like about here. All right, looks like it fits in there pretty good. I could move this over a notch. All right, looking good. And then I do have like the L stiffener and the this stiffener and the that stiffener. So let's bring these in. L stiffener, we have the T stiffener. All right, as well as the I stiffener. These are columns. And then we also have the square column. So I'm gonna bring this in as well. I'm gonna just drop it. I don't know. I'm gonna find some space here to drop it. That looks pretty good to me. All right, so if you notice, we have them numbered in order. So that's nice. That's how we want them to be. And then, so this page is pretty much finished. Let me take a look at it in preview. It's good to check your pages, guys, because you want to make sure you're seeing everything. Nothing is being cut off. Now, if you notice, again, these numbers are not being updated as yet. And don't worry, we're going to get that done. Hit save, and then we have one last sheet left, and that would be our roof plan. So let's go back to our views here, and we're going to go to our roof framing plan. We're going to drag him in, place it right there, and then we do have two details to be added in. That would be the, let's go down to details. That would be the eave detail. All right, so let's bring that in. Nice. And then our ridge details. Guys, it couldn't get any easier than this. Couldn't. Really couldn't. Preview. Perfect. So how do we update these views? So we have a couple of them. We have the roof plan, we have the foundation plan, and I think we have another one. I don't remember which one it was. Can you remind me, guys? Let me see if you're following. All right, so how do we edit these? We will have to go back to the view itself. All right, so in this case, we're going to go back to the foundation plan. All right, and what you'll have to do here is to drag this callout onto the view that it corresponds with. So for instance, this would be an eye stiffener. So what we're going to do is to drag this here, just like that, over to the eye stiffener, like that, and it will update the numbering and everything in there. Likewise, I'm going to do this one again, T stiffener. So I'm going to drag this down to the T, and it would update with the corresponding view number and sheet number. I'm going to do the L, drag this onto the L, and it's done. I'm going to drag this onto the square column. All right, and then we're going to hit save and exit. And if we should go back to the foundation plan, you will see it ask you to reload that drawing. And if you hit reload, it now updates within this drawing. So the T would be number 4 on this page. And if you look on number 4, the T on page S01. So the next one would have been our roof plan. So let's open up our roof plan, and we're going to do the same thing. This one would be our ridge detail. So I'm going to drag this over to the ridge. Where is it? Ridge. Good. And then this one would be eave, and that's the only two we have in here. I don't think we have any more. Let's refresh this page, and there we go, looking perfectly. I'm gonna X this off. Yes. Go back to my sheets and just look over. I think the side plan looks good. The floor plan and schedule looked good. Elevation. Let's look at the sectional views because I thought we had some on here that needed to be updated as well. These ones are automatic because these were already mapped when we did them. All right, so perfect. And everything seemed to be fine now. I think it's time to go ahead and print. So once you have all your sheets ready, you know that everything is good, you can go ahead and print. Sometimes it's good to print them out and review it. Now it's very, very easy to print, guys. This is the good thing about the sheet set manager. All you have to do is to right click on your sheet set, go down to publish and go to whichever format you would like. Of course, I'm going to be choosing PDF. All right. And all I have to do is basically just to select the area in which I want, or the folder in which I want to save this file. So of course that would be on my desktop. I did have one there already, but I'm going to replace that file. So I'm going to hit select and I'm going to say yes. And once that is done, it's going to go through all the pages one by one, and let's wait on it here. All right, so that is it. Let's go to our desktop and open that drawing up. Here it is. And this is what it looks like. All right, so I'm going to put it in full screen mode so you can see what it looks like. If you notice, this comes out a lot cleaner than it looked in AutoCAD. We go to our second page. This is what it looks like. Everything is how it is supposed to be. Nicely done. Our location map is looking good. Our floor plan with our schedules are looking wonderful. Nice. And then we go to our elevation views. Everything is intact. All right. Our sectional views are looking good. All of our callouts are reading properly. All right. Our drainage and electrical plan is perfect. Our details. You see, this is why we have to review our drawings because these were not done. All right, so good. Let's go back over. All right, so we need to open up our detailed views. So details, yes. All right, so these will need to be updated. So I need to drag these onto the respective view. So I'm gonna drag this onto the grease trap basin. Drag this also onto the grease trap basin. This one is the trap gully basin, so I'm gonna drag this onto trap gully basin. Likewise here. And then this one is the manhole, so let me drag this onto manhole. Drag this onto the manhole. Perfect. And then I'm gonna hit save, close, and of course I'm going to take a look at that sheet. I think it was this sheet here. There we have it. Those are being updated perfectly. So let's go ahead and reprint, publish, PDF, my desktop, select yes. All right, minimize that, reopen, and we are all good to go. So I'll be posting this PDF in the description below, so definitely go ahead and download if you want. This would be a good reference for you to use and follow through with this project. I hope that you enjoy this series. I hope that you learned something. All right, so that wraps it up for this video. Remember to hit the like button and also drop a comment. That would allow this video to be recommended to others who might be interested in this type of content. And it also helps the channel to grow. So thank you for that. And if you haven't already, a subscribe to the channel would be awesome. Yes, so let me send a shout out to the patrons on my Patreon page. I will be dropping this project file, the whole one bedroom house series, the whole project, over there on Patreon. So if that is something you're interested in, then definitely check the link in the description below. With that said, thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next video.